Hello everybody and welcome to another track walkthrough video in the wonderful state of Colorado. This one comes to you live from 10,000 feet above sea level, and I'm joined by a very special guest, and that's really what makes this video the most special to me, and that I have my father riding alongside me. Throughout this moto, or at least for the first couple of laps, you'll see me following him around. You'll get to see how good he's going, incredibly impressive. He gets to race the over 55 class now. He's an expert level in that regard, and he's still out there getting the wins. So you'll see that he has great form, just really good riding style. He's extremely smooth, and he still gets after it. So he'll, on any given day, be one of the fastest riders out at the track, and while I'm incredibly proud of him for so many reasons, his motocross ability is still something to marvel at. So I hope you guys can take something from that, and maybe I'll do a video with him in the future just talking about technique and longevity and just really how to go fast while staying off the couch. Everything I know I learned from him and my grandfather, everything from the riding technique to those things to also working on the motorcycle and just learning all about the motocross lifestyle and the commitment that needs to go into it, as well as the dedication not just to your racecraft, but also to keeping things clean, keeping things tidy, and everything that comes with that. So more than anything, this video is dedicated to my father. I'm so blessed that at almost 30 years old now, I still get to go ride with him. And beyond that he freaking rips. You can see that here. So it's really cool. This particular day was almost exactly 1 year removed from the major crash that I had. So that was the last time he and I had actually ridden together. It had been a whole year, and he was kind enough to drive out from California so that we could do this moto trip, and it really just was so cool, just getting to ride together again, also getting to ride together where both of us stayed off the ground and just had a really good time. So anyway, all that to say, let me talk through a few things about this track and just the facility in general. So the first thing is that yes, it is at 10,000 feet elevation. Even with a fuel-injected 450, you still feel the decrease in power. So I can only imagine riding a bike that was pre-fuel injection, how that would impact things. Definitely from a jetting perspective, you'd have to be pretty spot on so you're not running too lean. But the bike, it was just like a really detuned 450 riding on my standard settings. I found that I didn't really have to move the clickers around too much for this track either. For the most part, it's pretty slow speed. There's two sections that are kind of like roller sections that you get up into like fourth gear. Other than that, it's mostly second and third on the 450. And I really appreciate the fact that almost every turn had a viable outside and inside option. As you can see, especially with these first couple of laps where we're riding together, I'm really trying to make a point of trying some alternate lines and just having some fun. That's one of the joys of us getting to ride together, is that we trust each other and we know we're not going to take the other person out, and we can just dink around and have some fun out there on the track. So the alternate lines were fantastic. The dirt was also really good. It's pretty much loamy throughout. No real rocks to speak of. They've done a good job of picking those off the track. And while the track is narrower, it's by no means too narrow. When you come up on a rider, you have to be cognizant of where they're going. You don't want to have any accidental collisions because some of the inside lines do drift to the outside. But for the most part, the riders were pretty aware, and the track was in excellent shape. We had so much fun. I will say, neither of us was in shape, even remotely, to do all of the riding at 10,000 feet, because it really takes it out of you. Even when you're focusing on breathing, it's no easy task. So we were definitely trying to do our best to breathe, to remember to breathe, to hold on loosely, and to just pick our lines and ride really smooth. You'll see me looking around a bit here just because I was trying to keep us riding together. That was part of the enjoyability of this moto, but these jumps were really cool. I found the first time that I hit the jumps in that front section there, I actually over jumped them pretty badly. So really, if you're carrying just fair speed, you just kind of coast off of those. You don't really have to give it much throttle. Most of the jumps on this track are that way. There's one fairly large double in the center of the track where you do have to really give it some beans. This jump here, you have to pop it a little bit to get over, but there's really nothing too crazy. Pretty much all the jumps on the track I'm hitting in third gear, and for these ruts and even some of the outsides, I'm alternating between second and third gear depending on the turn and depending which lines I'm planning on taking. I do upshift to fourth here. This is one of those, bigger roller sections, and as you've seen in some of my other videos and I've just kind of talked about, generally speaking, I suck at rollers, so I'm usually taking it easy through those sections. I do maybe manual through it okay a couple of times, but certainly nothing too wild and crazy. This turn right here, I think it's the only jump that I was hitting in second gear, just because you're coming right out of the turn and it was really deep and loamy. But yeah, I just tried to pick the lines that I felt like flowed the best, and to where they were kind of smooth, and I do like inside ruts that are well built up. This one was not necessarily that, but it was a good alternate line to get around people, and on the 450 you can still manage to clear that double from the inside. That was the one I was alluding to earlier, that it's probably the largest jump on the track. Hitting it the first time is a little interesting, but all the jumps on this track are so well built that it's not really that much of a concern. Apart from the track, the whole facility was great. You can see it's beautiful. Growing up and riding in the California desert, the Palmdale area specifically, I can say that this is certainly the most beautiful motocross track I've ever ridden. Just having trees in general is a step up from what I'm used to, and while there wasn't a ton of elevation change on this track in particular, you have views of a couple of the highest peaks in Colorado from the pits, so that's pretty spectacular. And the town of Leadville, which I had not previously been to, is also really cool. A lot of old mining relics, and the actual downtown has this really old bar district and stuff. So if that's your scene, the town itself is great, and then there's a lot of also great off-road trails and opportunities in the area, as well as summiting the aforementioned peaks. So yeah, great area. The track crew were so cool and great to work with. Just so friendly at the gate and welcoming, and we just really felt like we were home, just upon arrival. And also shortly after filming this, literally within a month, they started having some issues with the insurance, and they shut the facility down. So I don't know if any of you out there are in any kind of a position to help them out or speak light into that situation, but again, I mentioned it in my last video out at Kimball County Mx in Nebraska. It's really, as a motocross community, we want to see our tracks stay open, especially amazing ones like this, and with amazing owners and operators. So as a community, let's rally around, and if and when they reopen, let's go show our support, because this is a really cool track. I've personally not ridden anything like it, and I really believe you'd be hard pressed to find tracks like this out there. It's just so unique and it's so cool. So that's really all I wanted to talk to in this video. If you have specific questions on line choices, suspension setup, what maps we're running on the bike, anything like that, just hit me up in the comments. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe just in general. I'd love to hear from you guys. And recently I had the opportunity even to meet a couple subscribers out at the track. I just do this for fun. This is not at all my day job. This is just a hobby, and it's just cool to put these videos out there, and it's cool to hear that some of these are helping you guys get some insights on the track, as well as maybe some riding tips here and there. So if there's something you'd like to hear, just let me know. In the meantime, I hope you are finding opportunities to get out and ride, even as the winter season is upon us. I'll talk to you later. Bye.